I've seen a lot of BS online about when you can and can't have a destination wedding. So let me clear it up. I book weddings in hurricane season on purpose. And I'm going to tell you exactly why that's smart and when it's reckless. I'm Sully. I'm a destination wedding planner. I plan weddings in Mexico and in the Caribbean, and figuring out when and what month to do your wedding in is a very big challenge. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what months secretly will cost you more, and we're talking thousands, by the way, and which are the two sweet spots on the calendar that I steer my clients specifically away from because it looks perfect on paper, but it's really a trap. So let's get into it. Okay, so obviously hurricane season is a big thing. I do weddings in Mexico and the Caribbean, and yes, hurricane season needs to be factored into the equation. Here's my honest answer. Hurricane season in the Caribbean and Mexico runs from June through November. The peak risk is August through October. But I don't want you to panic if that's when you want to get married, because rates at those resorts drop significantly, and an actual direct hit at your specific resort on your specific weekend is statistically rare. Does that mean never? No. Is there a risk that you will take? Yes. But that's why travel insurance was invented. And I don't want you to steer away from those months if you're worried about hurricane season, because I don't think that needs to be something to worry about. Plus, most of these resorts have policies in writing, and when you're working with a planner, we can look at those kinds of things that tell us what the contingency plans are if in fact something catastrophic happens. I don't want you thinking that having a wedding during hurricane season is reckless. It's not. It just means you need a little bit more precaution, and it's still doable. I had a client whose wedding was almost impacted by a hurricane in Jamaica. And the thing is, we were on top of things. We were watching things daily, hourly, and it ended up working fine. Just know that it doesn't have to be the deal breaker. So the months that quietly cost you thousands, maybe it's a shocker, but mid-December through January is peak pricing. President's Day weekend, same story. And the trap month is March, because some people say, well, we'll just wait till March. March looks perfect. It's great weather. Everyone can travel, but it's also spring break. I would never, and I repeat, never travel to the Caribbean or Mexico during March, period. Full stop. End of story. Your romantic beach ceremony now has the soundtrack of college students doing swim up bar Olympics, and your guests are having to pay peak rates for a resort that could literally be half the cost if you go 1 month later. Easter week is another month that I would avoid, and if it happens to coincide with March, forget it. Again, another reason why I will never go. But I would avoid Easter week, the week before and after, if you can, but it is good weather though. Also, those times have typical double airfare, so it's costing everybody just thousands more for no reason. So the two sweet spots, mid-November through the first week of December. Hurricane season is over. The crowds are light. It's like the pre-holiday rush. Holiday pricing hasn't kicked in, and the weather is gorgeous. So that to me is like the sweet spot. Sweet spot number 2 is like, so mid-February to end of February, but like only into like the first week of March, and then you stop, right? Remember what I told you about March? Dry season is that time period. It's comfortable temperatures. Your guests aren't fighting holiday travel, etc., etc. And by the way, if you want more advice on when to have your wedding, make sure you're clicking the link below to schedule a call, and we can discuss what's working best for you and your group. Okay, so also, here's a little side note on rain. I call it like rain math and humidity honesty. Even in rainy months, tropical rain usually means an hour in the afternoon. Now listen, there are some places that have monsoons. I mean, legitimately raining 24/7. But a little rain is going to happen. You're in a tropical climate. It might not be a washed out day, but what actually gets people is the humidity. Think about your hair. Think about your makeup. I know that at 2 o'clock outside in the Caribbean, my hair is out to here. And that's not the vibe that I would want for my wedding, especially if it's in August and the humidity's at 155,000%. So this is why I would fight for a later ceremony in those times. So you definitely want like an early evening ceremony in those months. So that is the gist of it. I want you to make sure that you're picking the right time that works for you, but there are certain months that you definitely want to avoid. But more importantly, I want you to make sure that you are not basing your decision on something that is immeasurable. Avoid those December holidays, avoid March, and try to hit that sweet spot. Now do me a favor, drop me the month that you're considering your destination wedding in the comments. I'm just curious. I'll reply with a green light or a gamble. I mean, literally, I really will read each one.